Hi, I'm Diet Cokehead, and if you're watching this, your mom's already dead. Where's my long sleeve shirt, guy? I think this is a Halloween shirt. We found it for $1 in a thrift store. I think I'm gonna cut these off, and yeah, I have a little sewing machine that I need to bust out. It's like living in a tiny house fucking sucks. This don't do this to yourself unless you're fucking poor already. Um, it's the space is impossible. This is not a place for somebody who has a child or whatever. It's only working because my daughter is extremely um, gracious and accepting of our circumstances, and she's really good at powering through whatever we're going through in that particular year. So we make this tiny house work, but it is not ideal. And the thing is, what I like, it's a cute house. I really do love this house. It is just like I'm already thinking like one of these fucking boony locals. Like I seriously, like in my head, I'm like, what if I got me a trailer and that would be my kids' room? But yeah, I need to get back online and work. I'm so bad at getting back in the swing of work or whatever, but I think I want to either totally cut this off. I'm gonna have to like me and my daughter both spotted this, and we kind of decided how much we wanted it based on how much we both liked it, and it was only $1. It was like in their winter stuff to get rid of, but I think if I either cut this off completely or just take the gears off and make it something funner, I don't know. I'll see if I ever get around to it, but like there's no space to do clothes projects. And that's like the space issue is stressing me out. Um I don't have like I used to sew and do customs and do all kinds of stuff all the time. I just don't really have like I focus I have like a year where I'll like intensely focus on embroidery on for like a whole year to 6 months, or like crochets or sculpting, or and this year it's writing. And I think that writing has always been like my like everything every I always like experiment with something different, but writing is like my favorite. I like it when I get to be God, and I think that that's why I like creation so much, you know. Somebody suggested that I talk about the people in my town and what it's like here. And you know what? To be fair, I don't really, especially people like in really big towns and stuff, I don't think that they really appreciate or understand what it's like to be a rural. God, yeah, it's such an insult to injury that rural is the hardest fucking word to say in a southern accent. But rural people, they're okay, look. So I grew up in a teeny, impossibly tiny, like the school was like a bunch of bricks with red ant piles in the back. And it's not even a pile. Like if you don't know what imported red ants are, it's like this little circle in the ground and these like motherfucking like that big of ants. Um everywhere like that's just like it, you don't get to run away. And that's we're out here with all like the worst storms, with all like we ain't Oklahoma, but I mean we're close. And it was bad. I've touched on this before, but the thing is, the tiny like school, like nobody gave a fuck about our education or nothing. Like that's we would like whenever you have like a school that's really tiny like that, like 100 kids in the whole grade, and we had like a daycare for the students because everybody was getting pregnant. Our they took all the girls. I'm not making any of this up. Everything that I'm saying is completely true to my experience. This is what growing up in a teeny tiny bullshit school is like. The way out in the boonies, like the farm kid schools and stuff, the where like all the kids are super fucked up. All the kids are like inbred. All the kids are like in trailers. All the kids are like in horrific abusive situations. I was the only kid that wasn't like going home to fucking cinder blocks and stuff. Like their homes were all like balanced on cinder blocks, and they were all like horrible hoarders. Like there were kids who had trailers that you could smell across the school. And I mean, like there some like there were some that were way worse than others. Like I just remember this one family's their hoarding situation was so bad, and all the kids were like so like half the kids were really mean about how fucking bad they smelled, and then the other half of the kids were like no, like tried not to say anything. The teachers never intervened or whatever, but I mean like they would like open doors, and like everybody would complain and acknowledge it was bad. It was bad. Everybody nothing was ever done about those poor kids' situation. It sucked. And they were one of the nicest ones too. Like a lot of those kids were really like they were fucked up to each other just because they were also like fucking traumatized or whatever, you know? And like of course I got it really bad. And everybody thought this, that, or the other thing. Like I'm quiet, I'm a snob. Or my mom was really, really bad about like bragging and showing off like how much money that her and my dad made. If you've ever seen that South Park episode where everybody was like, fuck you, Stan, because his dad was like fucking calling everybody and telling them that, like, this is how much money I'm making. Like, that's exactly what my life was. Like I tried to hide it. I was always very ashamed of like I wasn't even we weren't even rich. Like we would have been poor kids if we were in like a normal school, but because we were there, we were the rich kids and stuff. And I like we were my dad was like independently wealthy or whatever. It's not like we were hurting for anything, of course. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like we were normal. We were normal. We were the only like ish. We had normal American problems. We didn't have like fucking Larry Clark ass problems like the other kids, you know? And I try to keep that in mind. I try to keep our education in mind. I try to keep whatever, but then it's like, you know, I grew up in like the same schools. I like they have smartphones, like they have like why aren't they able to, you know, like cuz I know some that are like as smart as me. God, I'm like getting hives all the fucking time and I don't know why. But what was I saying? Yeah, so they would take us, all the girls. They took us into the cafeteria, and our sex education was like they gave all the junior high girls sex education at the same time, and it was a girl that was talking about how fucking evil abortion was, and she was like telling this story. Like they just put on a tape, and it was a tape of this girl talking to a group of students, and the girl was saying, no, abortion, like the whole thing was just about how abortion, don't do it. My mother was raped. If you were raped and you have an abortion, you're a murderer. Like seriously, for like an hour, she like went and that was our sex ed. Whenever you're in a really tiny school, like stuff that goes around, and this isn't really relevant. This is just kind of an interesting little tidbit. They kind of like, you know how you have assemblies or whatever, they'll kind of like experiment on rural schools. So we had this one where this dude, all these people came in and showed us this like documentary on this guy who shook his baby to death. And they were like, he needs to get out of jail. He didn't mean it. Listen to how fucking annoying this baby is. They like took a baby doll and they made us all listen to it cry. And then they were like pass that around and see how annoying it is. See, he should be out of jail. And then they were like, well, it's not his fault that he shook his baby to death because they were like, girls play with babies and stuff and guys play with like masculine toys. So like it wasn't his fault. It was an accident. He played with like boy toys, so he didn't know how rough he was supposed to be with his fucking baby. It was a 3-year-old. It wasn't like an infant that he accidentally, no, he was arrested for giving his 3-year-old shaken like that's and that but they were testing it on us, and we got like little groups that would test weird assemblies and see how well that worked on us all the time. It was fucking weird. I didn't know why they did that, and I would think about it all the time, like, why did they come up and talk to us about that? But, I digress. The locals here are fucking weird. I think everybody kind of has weird locals. I know that, like, if you drive around town, you'll probably see either, like, the methed up trash can Barbie. There's, like, this girl that hangs around the dumpsters by the bars, and she dumpster dives there, but she has, like, these big, massive fake tits, and, her lips are, like, so siliconed, and she's, like, she's all, like, methed up in the face, you know, but she's, like, always got like this bouffant hair and all this makeup and stuff, and you'll always see her crawling into dumpsters. It's fucking weird. And then we have like that's here. That's not my old one, but like this town is weirder. I wish I could tell you what town it was, and I think some of you guys have figured it out just because this is so weird. And everybody asks, why is this town so weird? Well, this town was founded on a brothel, and it was also, like, there was nothing here initially, but the military base, the brothel, and, a tuberculosis hospital. So, like, then that just made us. And, like, if you go into the boonies of any country or whatever, there's gonna be lots and lots and lots of shady-ass fucked up stuff because, you know, criminals hide here easy. There's like lots of little hills and stuff they can just go and hide out in, and this is like a really big transient town, so like there's always like some, like once a year there'll be like some motherfucker from the New Orleans. We get a lot of transients from New Orleans and mostly like Louisiana and stuff. Like I don't know, I just meet those more than anybody else. And yeah, so there's a lot of reasons that this is a really fucking weird town. Like, if you go into the Freemason building, they have, like, they literally have, like, satanic, like, pentagrams. Like, seriously, straight up, and it does not look like an accident. It is really funny. I don't know what else I can tell you about the locals here. I don't know what you guys want to know. I mean, like, everybody, to me, it's normal. To me, like, being, like, way out here, like, way out in the boonies where everybody is, like, really fucking weird. And people, online will be like, oh my god, I was in a small town the other day, and it's exactly like you said. Yeah, I know. And it's, like, everybody that they grew up with is who they're stuck with for the rest of their whole fucking life. You don't get to pick your friends. You don't get to, you know, you just kind of, like, grow up and get stuck with these people, and 90% of them don't ever leave, they don't ever get out, and they don't ever, like, you're not around a place with any ambition, you're not around a place where anybody has any kind of success. The economy here fucking sucks. It's a flaky-ass oil economy that's, either booming or crashing, and, like I said, the army, or, couple of industry and those like sweatshop jobs, and like if you're not a nurse then you're fucked, man. Like that's and there's no opportunity, there's no reason. Everybody's like, why doesn't anybody take care of themselves? Why doesn't anybody do this? Why there's nothing here. There's nothing, like, there's no opportunities. There's it's exactly like, especially with like all the jobs transitioning and stuff, it's like all the coal miners and stuff just losing hope and losing faith in life and losing, like, you just, there's nothing to do but drugs and sex, and everybody's having like a million babies while they're still in high school, and there's not a lot of hope here. There's not a lot of hope in most places in life. There's like if you are born in the wrong place, you just gotta accept it. You're never gonna be famous, buddy. Like, you just gotta accept it that you're never gonna go anywhere. You just gotta accept it that there's maybe a 1 in a million every 20 years in your town that actually gets out. Being in a small town fucking sucks. Okay, bye.